For a century, the Seventh-day Adventist denomination has been providing medical care not only to Penang, but to all Malaysian community and the Southeast Asia region. A small clinic in downtown Penang was first established in 1924. The facilities were extremely meager and far from adequate to provide quality medical care required. With enthusiastic encouragement and support of prominent residents, plans were made to considerably improve and expand the medical services. Land was purchased and hospital building constructed. In 1931, the Penang Sanitarium and hospital doors were first opened with Dr. J. Earl Gardner as medical director. When the Japanese army arrived in 1941, the sanitarium and the clinic were both immediately seized as enemy property. At that time, all personnel had been evacuated from Shulia Street Clinic. The workers in the hospital were very concerned for their welfare, although the Japanese at first did not cause very much interference. They placed a military seal on the front door of the hospital. And the nurses being free to leave the hospital by the side or back doors.
Destruction of Nippon.
Two or 3 weeks after the occupation, a Japanese officer came requesting sulfa drugs from the hospital. Of course, at that time, this was the pre-antibiotic era. Penicillin not being discovered until 1944, and sulfa drugs, which had been discovered in the mid-1930s, were the chief chemotherapeutic agents available for the treatment of infection. Shortly afterward, another Japanese officer came to the hospital requesting distilled water since they were unable to produce this product in the general hospital. It was a difficult time, but as can be seen, God was overruling the work of His church. It was indeed most fortunate that Mr. Yo Peng-yi, the treasurer of the hospital, was fluent in the Japanese language, having been born, educated in Taiwan, which at that time was a Japanese colony. The request for distilled water was made to Mrs. Lim and Tang, who had been left in charge as the matron of the hospital following the departure of Miss Conley, the previous matron. Mrs. Lim decided this was an opportune time to make a reciprocal request of the Japanese authorities. With Mr. Yo acting as interpreter, it was requested that in return for the distilled water, the officer would supply a letter in Japanese stating that no one could disturb those who were working in the mission hospital. The officer complied with this request, and the letter was produced forthwith. This letter was not without significance, for some of the hospital staff had reason for concern about their safety during the initial period of this document. The safety of the workers was largely secured. During the same time, for some reasons, the Japanese gained the impression that the supervisor of the maintenance, Mr. Yuan Zul, was opposed in particular to their rule, and they came to the hospital to seek him. Naturally, Mr. Yuan sought refuge from the Japanese authorities, speeding to the laundry and asking Mr. Melundi to hide him. Mr. Melundi quickly covered Mr. Yuan with the wood, and the Japanese who were seeking him failed to discover his whereabouts.
Very good.
Mrs. Lim and the other officers of the hospital recognized that they could not continue to function as a hospital without the services of medical personnel. And so, it was decided to seek the help of doctors in the community to continue the operation of the hospital. While the higher item treatment rooms have been established with unanticipated speed, the work in the hospital continued. The nurses were at that time being paid only $5 per month, only $1 of which they received in cash, the rest being retained for the provision of lodging and food. Although the Japanese quickly brought a regimented order to the city, medical facilities were still quite poor. The desperate situation of many people is underlined by an incident in which the relatives of a woman in labor came by candlelight from Kalawai Road in order to request Mrs. Lee to come and assist the delivery of the baby. Mrs. Lee has a natural concern about going to assist with this particular delivery, since she was aware that the husband of the woman had recently been arrested by the Japanese authorities. It was not advisable at that time to associate with somebody who has regards as being opposed to the Japanese regime. Tragically, the relatives learned later that this unfortunate man had been executed in captivity. However, Mrs. Lee placed Christian love before her personal well-being and respond to this needy case. When she arrived in the house, she found that the delivery was a complicated one, requiring the attendance of a physician. She decided to call on Dr. Ong Chong Kai, who was living in College Square, and asked him to assist in the delivery. Dr. Ong called Dr. Ui Kiwan to give an anesthetic so that the baby could be delivered by forceps on the dining room table of her house. The patient, in gratitude, gave Dr. Ong $100 for his professional care. Mrs. Lee wondered how Dr. Ong would share the fee, anticipating that he would simply share with Dr. Lee. However, to her surprise, Dr. Ong took only $20 for his services. Gave Dr. Lee $10 for performing the anesthetic, and present Mrs. Lim with the remaining $70. At that time, food supplies for the nurses were at premium, and with this $70, Mrs. Lim was able to buy 2 sacks of rice, with which she was able to feed the workers. In ways like this, God was working on the hearts of generous citizens to provide for His work during these difficult times. The end.
In the halls of Re-enactment, where healing light and through trials and through time, nurses and brother calling pure and true, with every breath they exhale, they serve with all they do. Nurses of PAH, with hearts so pure and warm,